Hello, Magicasters of all shapes and sizes! My name is Chance, welcome to my Spellbook, and thank you so much for tuning into the 50th episode of our second level spell series. Big ol' 5-0. I tell you, it is pretty dang impressive if I do say so myself. In any case, today we're looking at a beloved classic of the Dungeons & Dragons universe. May I introduce to you Melf's Acid Arrow. This spell is found exclusively on the Wizard spell list, and it is found in the beloved Player's Handbook, as it should. This spell has been around in D&D for, I want to say longer than I've been... Well, longer than I've been playing for sure, but I think it's been around since the first edition, to be honest with you. In any case, it is beloved and cherished by all, and there's a little bit of conversation as to whether or not 5e did a great job with it, and I'll explain why in a little bit here. That being said, let's take a look at its mechanics so we can kind of dive into this. This does function a little weird, by the way. So you deal two separate sets of damage. So you'll deal 4 die 4 immediate damage and then 2 die 4 delayed damage. And you have an additional die 4 to each of those per spell slot level above second. So if you use a 3rd level spell slot per se, it'll be 5 die 4 initial and then 3 die 4 delayed, if that makes sense. And even if you miss, you still deal half damage on the initial damage, but you don't deal any delayed damage. So it's kind of weird the way it works, right? The cast time is 1 action, the range is 90 feet, which is nothing to sneeze at. The duration is instantaneous. The components are the Holy Trinity, so verbal, material, and somatic. If you're curious about the material component, it is powdered rhubarb leaf and an adder's stomach, which is pretty cool. I mean, smells or sounds smelly, but you know what, whatever. The school is Evocation, and the damage type is, well, unsurprisingly acid. Now, let's take a look at the description, because there's a couple things we got to go over here. A shimmering green arrow streaks toward a target within range and bursts into a spray of acid. Make a ranged spell attack against the target. On a hit, the target takes 4 die 4 acid damage immediately and 2 die 4 acid damage at the end of its next turn. On a miss, the arrow splashes the target with acid for half as much of the initial damage and no damage at the end of its turn. At higher levels, when you cast a spell using a spell slot of 3rd level or higher, the damage, both initial and later, increases by 1 die 4 for each spell slot level above 2nd. Very, very good stuff. So a couple things worth going over here. It takes its delayed damage at the end of its next turn, and that's important for a little bit later on. And you can only affect creatures with this. So it's a lot like Acid Splash in that way. It only targets creatures. So it's a little unfortunate, but it's kind of just the way it is. So in any case, let's take a look at some alternative uses here. So I really did struggle with this one. Reason being is this is actually a spell built with an intended purpose, at least kind of. So its purpose in this case is to actually mess with casters primarily. It's why it inflicts damage at the end of the caster's turn. It's kind of meant to disrupt any concentration spells they have going at that point in time. That being said, it's not really the best spell to use for that kind of purpose. I find even Magic Missile works a lot better, but neither here nor there. Another good use for this is inflicting damage on targets that are running away or are about to run away. That way it kind of buys you an extra turn of damage dealing, and you don't have to worry about anything catching up to them, and the range is pretty nice on it, and even if you miss, you still do damage to them. So I think that's pretty cool as well. That being said, if you have any alternative uses, ideas, questions, thoughts, comments, concerns, please let me know down beneath in the comments section. I really do appreciate it. And if you like that nice hand-drawn Warforged being drawn on screen right now, and you'd like your own hand-drawn D&D picture, please check out the guild hall to figure out exactly how to do that. That being said, thank you so much, everyone. I really do appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, happy casting, everyone.